This is going to be on how to use watercolor pencils. And this is what the box looks like. And then you're going to pull out the colors that you're going to use and have them sharpened and ready to go. To do watercolor pencils, you're going to draw with them just like color pencils. So that already makes it easier for you. I kind of lined up my colors. Now I have my yellows and my browns, and I have my greens all ready to go, and my blues, and then any other extra colors. So I'm going to put these over to the side. And I started this sketch of a couple trees already. Now, there's a couple things already. I started the drawing in just one color, and I did a green. I usually do it a lighter color tan, but I wanted you to be able to see it on this video. Next, you'll notice that this tree is further up on the page, which we've talked about how to put shapes and objects, making them look like they're going back in space. So it's higher up from the bottom of my piece of paper, so it's smaller. This tree to the right is much closer to me because of its size. You can tell it's going all the way from the top and the bottom. Also, it starts at the bottom of the page, which also makes it look like it's closer to me. Obviously, it's going to take up more room. So I just have this blank space back here, and this can either be a road or water or whatever. So we're just going to start with this tree. So I need a base color down here. And if you ever notice, trees really are not just brown. So there's lots of ways of doing this. You can draw lots of lines in. What I try to do usually is give, just like in color pencils, a base coat. So you're going to see me do this kind of fast. But I'm just going to put a shade of brown inside here. And it's kind of a golden brown. This is called yellow ochre. Next, what I'm going to do is start putting in the shadow parts, the details, and some of the other lines on it. So it's going to be more in shadow, and you're going to see some of the shadows that are going to be on the tree. And then we need to start worrying about the leaves. So if I get where the light's hitting the tree, and I get some of the lighter color of the green, it's going to look like the sun is hitting it in that part. And then obviously, where the sun's not hitting it, I'm going to have another green. Now usually the trick to doing any color or drawing would be to have at least 3 different colors. If you have a light green, a medium green, and a dark green, you're going to give the illusion of depth. So whenever I do this, I try to have at least 3 different values of a color. And obviously it's going to be darker on the bottom parts because it's dipped down underneath the tree. Okay, and I'm doing this real fast. You're not getting lots of details like you normally would. Alright, then after I do this part, I may come back with my final dark green, or I could even come back finally with the black. Now again, just like we talked about in the other videos, you always do your indigo blue or your black last. And what's cool, if you do a few lines, don't outline the whole thing, it kind of defines the edges, and it kind of makes it chop out or pop out a little bit more. Now down here, if I wanted to have it just a light green, and if I wanted this all to be grassy, and then I wanted to show possibly, maybe since this tree, the light is coming down from this way, there would be, this part of the grass would obviously be in shadow, so it would be a darker green. And then you can put your little details in with color pencils, like the grass down here. Now, let's say I did everything I wanted to back here. I even decided I was going to have nice shades of blue in my sky, and I'm going to go around my 2 trees. And I even blocked out white areas so it looked like I had some clouds up there. Okay. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to add my watercolor. Now, you need one of the buckets that are underneath my sink and put some, obviously, water in it. And then you need 2 different size brushes. You probably don't use the big one as much as you think, but you do need one that's a little finer tip. These are the soft brushes. The dark brown ones are called camel hairs. These are meant for watercolor, and they'll hold the water better and do a better job for you. Now, once I get the brush wet, what's cool about watercolors is I can pick any part of this I want to blend. I can either leave the watercolor, the color pencil the way it is, or I can go up here and just on the blue, just blend all the blue in the sky. So now I don't see really the lines that you see with colored pencil. I just see now kind of a watercolor blue going in. Now what else is really kind of cool about this is obviously the only place that the paint is going to smear is where I put the water. This part that I haven't touched yet is dry. It's going to be left alone. Now something else you can do with watercolor pencils is leave this part dry, come back, and you can draw again on top and watercolor more, or you can just leave this alone, or never do the light green, and maybe the only part I'm going to blend up here is going to be the dark green where the shadows are, or maybe just the side of the tree, or just the background. But this becomes your choice. You get to decide what parts you want to watercolor, what parts you want to leave alone and look like colored pencil.